Welcome, everyone, to a special episode here of Voice of the Ville. I'm Jerry.
Linda Michelle.
Jimmy Alexandre.
Jeff Lamore.
This is Voice of the Ville.
Okay, Marshall County has a population over nearly 100,000 people. And amongst them are leaders who dedicate their lives to serve our community, to make our community a better place and a safe place. One of those leaders is a man I know personally, a man with honor and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to welcome to the Voice of the Ville, the Marshall County Sheriff, Ville Sims. Ville Sims, welcome to Voice of the Ville.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
A man with many accomplishments in his career, a man that the Sheriff Office are very proud of, a man that Marshall County are very proud of, a man the Voice of the Ville are very proud of. Welcome to the Voice of the Ville, Sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Might I add, born and raised in Marshall County, over 29 years in law enforcement.
Correct.
Going on 30.
Yeah, I think it's a little more than that now. I started in 1993, so I'm getting close to 31 years. Is that right?
Wow.
My math is right.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been an adventure, I can tell you that.
It's a long time. Wow. So what inspired you to pursue a career in law enforcement?
I guess when I was younger, and this is going to sound funny, and I brought this up during my campaign a long time ago, but I used to read comic books all the time as a kid.
Okay.
I loved superheroes. I loved to go out and fight for justice and all that kind of stuff. And my favorite character is Spider-Man. You like it? Yeah, you know what?
Wait.
What part?
Spider-Man? We have an inside joke about Spider-Man.
It's not so much the power he had, it was the lesson I learned from that book. And I'll go ahead and share that with you. In the book, you have Peter Parker, who has just discovered he's Spider-Man. He's trying to make his way, but he has his aunt and Uncle Ben, and they are constantly, they're very poor. They don't have a whole lot. So he goes to this wrestling match. He's not disguised as just a wrestler. He's not really Spider-Man at this point in time. And he wins the match, of course. And he wins a lot of bonus money or prize money. And as he goes, collects his money, as he's walking out, a robber comes through and robs the place. Y'all remember this?
Yes.
He robs the place. And then Spider-Man could have stopped him, but he didn't because him and the guy got into it. He's like, well, whatever, just let him go. Well, later in the comic book, later that night, that guy kills his Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the lesson I get out of that is with great power comes great responsibility.
Uncle Ben said that to me.
So that has stuck with me my entire life.
Wow.
And so comic books aren't like they used to be. I know that. But I still love Spider-Man. I always will. But so when I was doing a debate and ARAB during my first campaign, I brought that up during the debate. And so my analogy was to be a law enforcement officer is a great power and a great responsibility. Well, being sheriff is even a greater power with a greater responsibility. And like I said, that lesson has never left me my entire life.
Well, I thank God for Spider-Man, because without Spider-Man, we wouldn't have you. I said I thank God for Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, thank God for Spider-Man.
Without Spider-Man, maybe you wouldn't be a sheriff.
I love Spidey, and I liked his powers too. I thought that was pretty cool. Web fling around buildings, yeah.
Well,
But that had a lot to do with it, and I chose law enforcement profession because to me that's where I thought my heart lay, and where I could make a bigger difference. And I wanted to make a difference locally. I didn't want to just go off to like a federal job, even though I've had opportunities to do that. And I've looked at it. I really want to give back to my community where I was born and raised here in this county.
Now, do you have any military background prior to this?
I'm sorry, what?
any military though?
I was supposed to go to the military, but because of my hearing, I was not eligible to go. So the next best thing was law enforcement.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know you made a very lot of difference in the Marshall County Sheriff Office. There's a lot of changes, and there's a lot of good programs that you brought back. And I know one of them is Project Lifesaver.
Yes.
Why is it important for family that lives here in Marshall County?
Project Lifesaver is a program that allows people to take care of their loved ones who have some kind of cognitive disorder disease, such as whether it's autism for children, or whether it's an elderly person or a loved one who's suffering from some kind of dementia or along those lines. So it's a device you wear it on your wrist, you wear it on your ankle, and it gives off an RF detection. It's got a battery that lasts about a month and a half. Then we have a way to track that in case they wander off from their property. A lot of times we've had cases, and I'm sure y'all have heard of them, where people will wander off in the woods or walk away from the house and get lost. We have an RF detector that will pick up that device from over a mile away.
Okay.
And we're also able to put that device in our helicopter and even cover more ground if we need to. So we thought that was very important. We offer that, and it's at no cost to the people of Marshall County. I started it off with discretionary money to get it started. And once we got started, people started signing up. We started getting donations, and ultimately got a grant from Channel 19 from the news station for like $25,000 through their foundation.
Wow.
To keep this program running. That way doesn't cost. A lot of these people who it's expensive technology if you just do it on your own. But you got people who can't afford it. So I want to make sure we could give that back to the people who needed it.
And I think it's a very great program, and the community
And we have
appreciate that.
Yeah, I have all my deputies are certified on it. We carry receivers, 4 receivers on each shift. Well, each sergeant has one on each shift, supervisor. And then we keep an extra one so we can put it in our helicopter if we need to.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of great accomplishments. One of them is the community watch program,
Yes.
and I think I benefit I benefit from the community watch program because I do live in Sims community, which your family's community.
That's right. You live out there with all the Sims. Just
With all
left me hard.
Yeah, so I have to be nice to him in this episode before I get kicked out of Sims community.
Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
the Sims community.
So Sims community.
Watch programming in Sims community. The community watch program.
Okay.
Well, the community watch programs, we support those. Everything we can do. You only have really 3 active right now. The ones that's most active is Rock Springs. You have one out on Highway 431 North at Hebron, which is going toward Madison County. And then Alder Springs was doing theirs, so they kind of off and on. Asbury is kind of off and on. But we support those programs. We show up. I send a deputy to every program. If I can't be there, I send a deputy or I'll send my chief. They usually meet the third Thursdays of each. It's hard to be of each one. It's hard to be 2 places at one time.
Of course.
So I'll send deputies. They do a good job supporting that program. And it's just a good way to get the sheriff's office back into the community. One of my campaign promises was that when I got elected, we would bring the sheriff's office back to the community where it belongs. It wasn't quite that way before I got elected. So I think we're doing a good job at doing that. Now, Sims community, I was born and raised there. It was founded back in the early 1900s when all the Simses just started coming into Sand Mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a great place to live. It really is. Everybody loves each other. It's a great community. Jeff lives there.
Yeah.
A lot of good people. The store there, the store at the corner?
Yeah.
I was born and raised in that store.
Wow.
My daddy owned that store.
On that stop sign.
Yeah.
Closer to that stop
Yeah.
sign.
So
Yeah.
that's where I learned stock groceries. That's where I learned pump gas. And I'm talking about a young age. We're talking about, breaking the labor laws now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I learned work ethic. I learned integrity. I learned how to public service through my dad there at the store, because we pumped people's gas back then.
Yeah.
You pulled up.
So in New Jersey, they still do that.
Yeah.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
In New Jersey?
In New Jersey, yes, you still.
If me and my brother went out there pumping somebody's gas real quick, my dad was yelling at us, "Get your butts out there and get that gas pump." Blah blah blah. So, and we learned how to make change. We learned the grocery business.
Yeah.
We learned how business worked, and that's where I learned to do barbecue too.
Ah,
So I love cooking outside. And I love cooking barbecue. That's one of the things that kind of relaxes me. My wife and I, she'll tell you I'm kind of the outdoor cook. She's the country cook, but I'm the outdoor cook.
Country cook.
I cook inside too, but I'm more the outdoor cook. But we used to supply. We had a meat market. I learned cut meat. I learned different cuts of meat. Learned how to rotate your groceries, what's fresh and what's not, how to move your inventory around. When I was a young age, I was ordering groceries for the food. I mean, for the store.
So that used to be a big grocery store back then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was the center, and that was the thing back then. It was the center of the community. Everybody went. It was called Sam's Community. Sam's Shop Easy, but we called it Sam's Grocery Table. But that was the center of our community. If you want to know something, see somebody, go to the store.
So that used to be the foodland of the day.
Do what now?
It used to be the foodland.
Yeah.
Of the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, a question that I am going to ask is a question that I've asked myself, and a lot of people, especially even within the Haitian community, ask because simply want to know. I really did not know up until recent, actually. So I ask you, and this audience get to hear it from you specifically. What is the difference between sheriff and the police?
Well, I figured that question get asked again.
That's a very good question.
So the responsibilities are basically the same when it comes to law enforcement part of it. We patrol. I have investigators. We investigate crimes. Same thing the police do. I want to touch on the sheriff just for a second, then I'll touch on responsibilities. So there's 67 elected sheriffs in the state of Alabama.
67.
And those sheriffs, and including me, we're all constitutional sheriffs, which means our position was created in our state constitution. So that's why we are elected. We are named in the Constitution. You see governor, and you'll see lieutenant governor, and all the way down to the state attorney general, and then the very last line, and the sheriff. There's a sheriff for every county in the state of Alabama. So my authority and my power comes from the people because it comes from the Constitution. So there's different levels of responsibilities that sheriffs do, or sheriff's office does, that the police doesn't do. We handle a lot of civil issues too. So we serve civil papers, we serve eviction notices, we serve any kind of judgment, subpoenas, any of those things that have to be served for a civil procedure for court. And on the civil side, we serve. It's our responsibility.
Wow.
So if you're getting sued or you're suing somebody, we're serving those papers for whatever reason. I run the county jail. I'm constitutionally responsible for our county jail, which means I'm responsible for everybody that's in there. And today there was 336 in there. So I'm responsible for their welfare, their well-being, their medical, make sure they get fed, clothing, the whole 9 yards while they're there. I'm also got to take care of their safety. So, and I've got a good group of guys. And they do a very good job of doing those things. One of the first things I did when I got elected is I made sure we had 24-hour health care.
Okay.
That wasn't there
For the inmates.
Yeah. So we have nurses actually in the jail, majority of the time, as long as somebody's not out sick or nothing like that. They can do up to a certain level of treatment without having to go to the hospital. So that kind of cuts down on hospital visits, ER visits, or whatnot. They make sure all of our inmates have their doctor's appointments. We transport all inmates to their doctor's appointment, whether it's specialty or whatever. I've had several that had to have specialty treatments for cancer. I've had several that's come through that were pregnant. So we have to make sure we meet all those needs. And our guys have done a very, very good job of doing that. We went from a high incident jail in the state when I took over to a low incident jail involving like claims and stuff like that. So I'm very proud of that.
So, but how do you contrast that to the police station? For example, you mentioned 387 inmates that you currently have. So trying to understand the difference. Let's say for the person who just don't get it. Okay, so does the police station. They got people that they hold in jail. What is the difference for your inmates versus their inmate? What determines whether they come to the county or?
So I'm responsible for holding all felony arrests in the county. So if any of the cities make a felony arrest, they have to come to me. That's by law. I'm in charge. So the only inmates or people held at your cities is in the city of Iberville. I'll use them because I got the biggest city jail. Is misdemeanors. That's it.
Okay.
It's mainly on city charges. It's like city ordinances and those type things.
Okay.
Now I have to hold all felonies. Now I hold gunners with ARAP inmates. So we contract with them. And I'm holding some of BOASs from time to time, depending on, situations or so forth. So that's one of the big things, difference between the jail part of it. But now, as far as enforcing the law, we all do that. We all force, whether it's traffic laws, whether it's a misdemeanor or whether it's a felony. It's just if they make a felony arrest, I'm responsible for it, for keeping that individual.
Well, sheriffs, what year were you elected?
2019.
Okay, 2019. Okay,
I took office January 19th.
2019. You have a list of accomplishment over here. Awards program, better equipment and technology for deputies, new uniforms, weapons and laptops, and better equipments. You fixed the sheriff office, jail repairs and upgrade.
Yes.
More funding and increase in resources. So you give better equipment and trainings, and you repair new equipment. And then there was a loss, a lot of files that was lost, and also there's a report out there that's saying that you were the one that found those documents that was lost in the sheriff office from the previous administration.
There were some that were found. Yes.
Yeah. So what's next for Sheriff Sim?
Well, I've got an election coming up, so that's coming up real soon. In January is the time to start qualifying for. Every sheriff runs every 4 years, same cycle as the governor, lieutenant governor, because it's a constitutional office. So election's coming up. We got other plans, more things. We're adding another K9 to our office. We're in the process of doing that now. We have one K9. One's just not enough. We really need two to cover the shifts. So we're starting a new K9 program. We're fixing to start a new peer-to-peer program for the mental health of our deputies. We're in the process of doing that now. We got our jail under construction. That's been a big thing since I've been in office. Let me tell you why. When I took office, there's 196 actual beds in the jail. But when I took office, there was 300 inmates. So just, you can imagine, it's just kind of like, you got a 4-bedroom home that's meant for, let's say, 6 people, and you're trying to put 20 in or something like that. So you're on top of each other. I knew we had to have a new jail at some point in time. It's going to cost some money. We had to renovate what we already had. The county commission's been very, very good working with me on how to resolve this problem. Like today, I got 338 inmates. Back in July, I had 380. So we're adding 250 beds to our facility, which will get us around 450 beds.
Wow.
And that's to project growth. I'm done it from 10 years from now, make sure we have enough beds that we don't get into overcrowded position again for several reasons. It's unsafe. It's not good for the people that work there. It's not good for the inmates, but to avoid lawsuits, and like I said, we're overcrowded now. My guys do a good job, really good job. I can't brag on them enough. Everybody says, Sheriff, you've done a good job. You've done this, you did that. I'm just a figurehead just giving my guys the tools to give them what they need to do their job, and they should get the credit because they actually do the work. I'm just there to help them get what they need to get it done.
That sounds like a true leader. That's qualities of a true leader.
Absolutely.
Acknowledging, the folks out there and taking your spot. Hey, I give them the tools and they do what they gotta do. Yeah. But let me go ahead and ask you, and it's a question that I have to ask. Yeah. Proving guilty until innocent until proven guilty.
There we go.
Innocent
Here we
until
go.
proven guilty.
There we go.
Here we go, Bill.
It's a serious thing.
No, he asked the chief of the Ville that question.
Yes. But it's a serious thing. It's a very serious thing. I know.
Why you gonna do 2 episodes, 2 sequels?
Well, listen. This is the man that can give me the answer that I need. This is the man that can give me the answers that I need to really follow up my head. So if the law says you are innocent until proven guilty, why if you are indicted?
Why are you indicted?
Let's say you are indicted. That means you are indicted. Therefore, you being held up until you go in front of a judge until you find out whether you're innocent or you're guilty. Now, some people are found innocent. Some people are found guilty. Maybe with the feds, the majority 98 is found guilty, while the other 2% is found innocent. But that's still 2%. Okay, so why is that 2% get the same treatment as the other 98%?
Well, you have to look at every case is different. Every charge is different. I can tell you based on experience from being on this side of it, there are some cases where if you are charged with something, you should get a bond. You should be allowed and have your day in court. There are some cases that are very bad that you should get a bond, but that's not necessarily should be out of jail because of the way, because the
nature.
the heinous event of the crime. Then you have to keep in mind your victims, especially if they're younger victims as kids, because you want to have victims' rights, but you also don't want to step on your constitutional right. If you're charged with something. So there is a line there, and the judges and the DA and all law enforcement, I think we do a pretty good job trying to judge that to see what those are while still enforcing law, keeping the spirit of the law, and so forth. But there is no $1 million answer for that question. Just to be honest with you, but I can tell you this: it is a case by case basis. Depends on the facts of each case, what they are. But I've seen some rough stuff, guys. I've seen a lot of rough stuff.
I think the officer should make the officers get to make the judgment if they're guilty or not. I mean, because they're the judge and the jury.
Then the judge, the first judge of the jury, I believe.
First judge of the jury. Yeah.
I
feel like they have to make they have to protect themselves too. You can't treat a guy that's potentially a criminal like they're not guilty. I'm gonna treat you like I'm guilty because I gotta go home.
Well, that's the thing, and you touch on a good point. So that's the thing about when we do cases, we see stuff you don't see. So we're going to do what we can to protect the public. So we're going to give our side of the case to the DA or to the judge, and whatever that is, and say, okay, this person doesn't need to. They okay, give them a bond. They need a high bond to hold them more accountable. Make sure they come to court, and make sure whoever bonds them out knows what they're bonding them out for, and what their risk is for bonding. You put your property up. They leave and you never see them again. You just lost your property. You put your cash up. They leave, never come back. You just lost your cash. To the bond pool. So there's a medium there, and I think here in Marshall County we do a pretty good job of knowing what that is. We got good judges and they make good decisions. So I think we do a real good job at that.
And I completely understand, and it makes perfect sense, perfect logic. I'm thinking maybe perhaps we need to get away from innocent until proven guilty. If you are arrested, you are indicted, there is no innocence, you're just gonna go through the process. But when you put in the mind, I'm innocent until I'm proven guilty, but yet here I am getting treated like everybody else. 6 months down the line, I'm found innocent. I've done lost my job, I've done lost friends, I'm innocent, but there is nothing to compensate me for the time, for the treatment, and you see what I mean?
So our criminal justice system isn't perfect by no means.
No, it's
but it is a system. And to me, it's the best system in the world.
It is.
Now go to Europe or England, you're presumed guilty. You got to prove your innocence. That's a little different. That's a different bar. So they're automatically thinking you're guilty when you get locked up. But when you go to court, judge thinking, okay, he's guilty.
I'm talking about. That sounds like exactly what we do. We say innocent until proven guilty, but we're gonna treat you guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
But when you go to court, the standard's different. When you go to court, we have to prove our case beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. And we have 12 people that you got to convince.
Yes, the jurors.
If it goes to trial. Now, if you notice this, a lot of people will come in and they plead guilty a lot. They plead guilty because they get a less time or they get a special deal. Well, they're pleading guilty because they're guilty, first of all. Because I tell you right now, I've seen enough. If I didn't do it, I ain't pleading guilty to nothing. I'll tell you that right now. If I'm innocent, I ain't pleading guilty to nothing. But, there's a lot of people do because they are guilty of what they've done. But if you go to court and go to trial, you got to convince those 12 people. We do. We got the burden of proof. We got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt you committed that crime. So that's a high burden. That's a high bar to set to start with. Other countries don't have that bar.
It's like Haiti, for instance. They don't have due process. You don't go to jail. The cops, you get I'm not gonna say Jimmy. Ryan get accused of kidnapping. They're gonna police show up. They shoot you because you're a kidnapper. Or they give you to the mob just based on the accusation. So this system of justice, I like it better because you have an opportunity to prove yourself that proving that you're not guilty, and you have an opportunity to hire a lawyer. A lot of places in the world, Dominican Republic, people don't have that chance. So we got to thank God for a justice system here. because I know it's not perfect. It's not 100%, but we got to think of what we have in the free world. All right, go ahead.
So, speaking of burdens, what has been the hardest decision you've had to make in this role?
Oh, that's a tough one there because a lot of them's been hard. So there's been a few, but probably one of the hardest decisions I've made is the responsibility of the sheriff that nobody even knows about. Is that when there's no one to be guardian of someone in the county, it falls to the sheriff by law. So I have 22 individuals now that I make decisions for, who I either inherited or they've been placed in my care, guardianship since I've been in office. The toughest one I've ever had to do was I had to make decisions with a pull the plug on someone's life, in their life. And I didn't know this individual hardly. It's been early on. But talking with the medical staff, that was their recommendation because it was just, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but basically the doctor says this individual's never going to get any better. They're just suffering, and this is what needs to be done. So I had to make a decision to do that. And I knew the individual's name. I talked to him one time before early on, but that's tough.
Did that occur? Something happened within the jail that
No.
that condition?
That's something that the sheriff. So there's another side the sheriff's office has to do with the sheriff is we deal with probate court. The cities do not have to so much deal with that unless it's first contact on the road where you have somebody in mental crisis. So we're responsible for transporting probate orders or people who have involuntary commitments to the hospital or back to court, or that's to anywhere in the state, like to any kind of facility, long-term or short-term. We do all that. And as part of that, part of the law, I have to, if there's nobody else that wants to be guardian of a loved one or anything like that, it has nothing to do with jail responsibility at all. It's all civil or probate. So if they have no one to take care of them and nobody to make decisions for them, then the judge can say, okay, Sheriff, will you do this?
Accurate.
Wow.
And so that is a big responsibility. Fortunately, I have a good work group with the DHR and with mental health that they help me get through that process, especially with doctor appointments and stuff like that for individuals. A lot of mine are in group homes now, so they have constant care of somebody there with them. I actually have only two that are kind of out, but they're to the point now they can take care of themselves. I just make sure they're okay. And so,
What is
Well,
what?
no, I'm sorry, Jeff. Before
nobody knows the sheriff has to do that kind of stuff.
That's why I'm saying wow,
Yeah.
because that's not something that we're aware of now. In long-term care, when we deal with some residents, I know we had some folks that were placed in there where for whatever reason there was no family member, but it was a sheriff. So never looked too deep into that. You just assume that it's because they had some legal problem. But now I'm going back to one of my residents who actually had a sheriff. Hopefully you're watching, you know who you are. I'm glad you're home. So I really did not know. So now that actually give me a whole different side, a different outlook.
It has nothing to do with innocent guilt or anything like that. It's just part of the job.
Why don't we have mental health asylum anymore in the country?
Great question.
Because people used to go. I think Ronald Reagan was the one that got rid of that because man, we got a lot of mental health crisis. If you look at TikTok, is that what's called? TikTok.
University.
TikTok. People are crazy. People are crazy, man. But so can you tell me about the 287 G program?
Sure.
What is that?
So the 287G program is where your law enforcement agencies can partner with the ICE or Homeland Security. And there's three different models. There's a task force model, there is a jail model, then there's a warrant service model. So the 287Gs is you go through the training with Homeland Security, and when you leave from there, they'll kind of what they call you become like a TFO or somewhat, task force officer with them, and you have the authority to do what they do on certain levels. So we are doing the jail model. We are not doing the warrant model. So I don't have people out checking immigration status or anything like that. Deputies doing any of that kind of stuff. We do assist ICE when they're here. We will go out and assist them, but My deputies do not have the authority to go out and ask for somebody for their immigration status unless they're, either under arrest or part of an investigation or something like that. Law enforcement contact. That's for any law enforcement officer in the state. If you're a 287G qualified on the warrant, you do. But I don't know of anybody in this area that's got the warrant service going for that. But we are doing the jail model. So basically what that means is if you come to jail, we'll never know who you are unless you come to jail and you got charges. Then we'll ask you your immigration status and then we'll verify it. That allows my deputies or my correctional officers to do that at the jail instead of having to wait on ICE to come to the jail and do it and call and wait for them to respond 24 hours later. We'll be able to do it right there and get better answer. Because I don't want to keep somebody for 24 hours. If they're here legally and get a bond, they should be able to bond out. So I don't want to have to hold anybody longer than I have to. It's going to allow us to be more efficient in how we do our job.
So, Sheriff, that's across the state. That's the way they're modeling it.
It's a few counties.
You talking about it's a federal program.
It's a program that the sheriff can join.
Let me clear up my question. So
County.
Not every
basically,
sheriff or law enforcement. Not everybody's part of it.
It's a voluntary program that you can.
You said that here in Marshall County, you're not looking for people stopping them for their immigration.
No, we do not.
Is that just in Marshall County, or is that all across Alabama?
That's law across the state of Alabama.
Okay.
The only people who can enforce immigration is immigration, and that they're a federal agency. As a state officer or as a city police officer or deputy sheriff, we cannot, even if we arrest you and we know you're here illegally, we cannot charge you or hold you because you're illegally. We can charge you with a crime, and we can check your immigration status, but ICE has to say, okay, keep them and give us an authorization through them to hold somebody.
Yes, sir.
Without that authorization, we can't hold them. Now, that's why we've done the 287G, because I don't want to get in the jail model. I want to be able for my guys to check that immigration status as soon as possible, because I don't want to violate anybody's rights if they're here legally and we're checking, because maybe they don't have their ID on them or whatnot, and if you are here legally, we want to know, because it's still a law. It's still a law of the land right now.
So we were just speaking with Chief, and basically his recommendation is for everybody to get started on their process wherever they're at, as far as that goes. But there's a lot of people that can't afford a lawyer, can't afford to even get started. So there's a lot of people in that boat that are scared just to be out. Regardless if they're committing a crime, if they're doing anything illegal. So can we clear up for the people that the police officers aren't looking around to see if your skin's a certain color to check your...
They are not. That's illegal. I will not allow my deputies to do that. If we're not, now if we come across you in an investigation, or if we come across you for law enforcement contact for whatever reason, then we can check. We cannot ask you your immigration status as a sole purpose of a stop.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
Got
You
it.
see what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You guys hear that?
That's very good information.
Yeah. And I want to make people, sure, you know how misinformation can come.
Exactly.
And when it does, it can go like wildfire.
You mentioned there is the warrant. There was the warrant model. You had the jail model. You said there was a third one.
It's a task force model.
Task force
Yeah,
model.
where you
Task
actually
force.
assign someone to the task force. To like the Gulf. Used to be Gulf of Mexico, now it's Gulf America Task Force. So it's changed names 2 or 3 times. And that's a task force where you have Homeland Security, you'll have other federal agencies, you'll have some local partners that go. I used to be a TFO of the FBI throughout my career for 13, 14 years, I guess. My background has always been, I did patrol for a little while, investigations, but my I guess my bread and butter of my career is narcotics and violent crimes. So I was on the FBI Safe Streets Task Force for well over 13 years. It's 13, 14 years. She knows just the hours I put in. And basically when you're a TFO, you go through the process and you're actually kind of badged over to the program. And then I would take my own cases federally without having to use a federal agent to do that.
Hey, Glenda, can you pull up that article for me?
As you looked that
Which
up.
one?
Another question is,
Pull it up.
it is completely as the sheriff, at your discretion which one of those models you would have went with, and you selected to go with the jail model, and as you indicated, for the sole purpose of making it a lot easier, so when you do arrest somebody, you're not holding them longer than you have to, because you already get the information that you need. And if the event that you do have to hold them, it's the law, that you already have access, you already know exactly what to do, and you get it done, just to make it a smoother process, not just for your guys, but as well as for the individual being detained.
Yes, I mean that's the main reason we did it, because there's state law now that says you have any contact, you must, for jails, you must check your immigration status. Well, that's going to take a while for all the jails to get up to running on that speed. We're already there. I just want to make sure we're more efficient how we do it. I don't have anybody on the warrant model. Even if I did, say if I had 2 or 3 deputies on the warrant model, they still wouldn't be running around checking people's immigration status. We would still have to have a reason to do that, whether it's an arrest, or we're investigating a crime, or something like that. They would still have to meet that threshold. You just don't walk up in the middle of somebody and say, "Hey, are you here legal? Are you here legal?" That's not going to happen.
Yeah. And that's yes, sir.
Yeah, but that article pretty much confirms what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean,
with the 3 sectors, the warrant, the 3 models, jail, warrant, and task force.
Okay, so I did see something online about it, but I'm not saying.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. I mean, people are scared, you know, and the people. I feel like mostly people on the left, they use that and turn it to something. I mean,
and people use scare tactics to get everybody riled up. Now, to me, that's not fair.
It's not
from either side. That shouldn't be done.
Correct. From either side.
That's how we operate. That's the law. That's what the law says. We're going to do exactly what the law says. We're not going to do anything above or beyond. Or below.
It basically says local sheriffs can opt to work with ICE through 3 models. And he specified which model they're actually working through, which is the jail only.
Now, I had a guy assigned to the task force model to assist ICE, but it's the same criteria I'm telling you is exactly how they do it. You know, let's say they got warrants on somebody, they'll go out and they'll arrest an individual who they know is here illegally, but they've got warrants on them. They've committed some kind of crime. That's what the task force does. So I had a guy assigned to it, but I turned around and hired him, so I don't have anybody on it anymore.
They took it from you.
He's a good guy.
So, which actually is a great segue. When we look at Marshall County, we do have an increase of migrant Haitians, Hispanics, and Guatemalans, and
even
Cubans and Africans, and it keeps growing. As the sheriff, and you've been doing this long, you've been in law enforcement, and we see your criteria as we see, what you've accomplished. What is your, I guess, in a way, I should say, if I may, personal view of this, and how has that change as far as what you see coming in, the arrests that are being made with these migrants?
It might take me a minute to answer that. There's probably 2 or 3 aspects of that. One is, I believe we have to have fair immigration laws. Any country has to have that. I believe that if you want to come here and do better, be better, better yourself, your family, get your education, work, there's a legal process to do that. You should follow that legal process. If you haven't done that process, or if you're here outside of that, I would encourage you, like Chief said, find a way to get that process started. And I mean, you make a good point. A lot of people don't have the money to do it, and it's hard to find people to do it. And this is where I'm going to go with my next point on this. I think our immigration laws need to be updated. I think it shouldn't take you 10 years to get your legal status. That's just my personal opinion. I think those need to be streamlined. We can figure out if somebody's bad or not within 10 years. You see what I mean? If they qualify to be here. You have your work visas, you have different visas, different work permits you can come over on. And while you're here, make sure you keep those current. Make sure you work toward the legal process. It's like the superintendent. Have y'all heard about the superintendent in, I guess, in Iowa that got arrested? Have y'all? So he's a superintendent. He's a former Olympian, and he come here on a student visa. At some point in time, his visas had expired, but he got his education here, and he was actually superintendent of a prominent school system in Iowa and was well known, well liked. But he let everything expire, and I don't know if there's some other things behind the background or not. I just went to him to approach him. He took off running, got the car ran.
So he knew then?
Yeah, he knew it. And when they called him, he had a handgun.
Oh.
So,
man.
if you look it up, it's on the headlines. So I'm talking about things like that. Don't open the door when you don't have to open the door. You know what I mean? So, but I think if you want to come here legally to better yourself, and I don't look at this better yourself, if they want to come and contribute to the United States to make us a better country, and you have the means to do that, do it legally. That's it. Just do it legally. If I went to Mexico and I didn't do it legally, what do you think they're going to do to me down there? If I went to another country and I'm there illegally and I don't go through their proper system, what do you think is going to happen to me? Go to Russia and see what happens. You see what I mean? There is a process. And even though you may be here illegally, go through, just start the process. Find somebody to help you if you can. I do believe our federal immigration laws should be looked at.
Absolutely.
I do believe in that.
And I personally, and thank you for sharing your personal thought. That's why it was a personal question. I truly appreciate your honesty on that. Personally, I see what's going on. You have a lot of folks who are here who just had an opportunity to be here. Unfortunately, previous administration kind of opened the floodgate and said, come on in. So here you go. You asked me to come in, and I'm here now, and all of a sudden things change to me. I gotta leave. But whoa, wait a minute. I've done sold my house. I think you had said that best one episode. I've done sold everything I have. I have nothing to go back to. It's a mess there back there. Lack of security or whatever the other issues may be. But now you tell me to leave. Where am I gonna go? You know, and I guess it's folks like us, myself, yourself, here in the United States who want to see the best thing for people, but at the same time, people just got to understand you cannot blame a man for wanting to clean his house. You just cannot. Okay, so
you look at like this too. And I agree. The borders were opened up under the last administration. People were not vetted as they properly. That's the problem.
Yes,
you're not vetted. They were coming through. I went to McAllen, Texas, meeting a group of sheriffs and legislators back, I think about 2 years ago. McAllen, yeah. We went down to tour the border, and we saw some of the things that was going on, and opened my eyes. I did not know what was going on. And to be honest with things that I saw, with my fellow sheriffs and legislators saw, is that the migrants were being taken advantage of.
Is that the trip you made with Brock Alvin and fellow?
Yes. So it wasn't, and it almost was like a human trafficking element that the government was sanctioning, because they would go through these organizations. I remember what they're called.
Catholic Charity.
Yeah, it had a name. It had another name. And we went to a Catholic charity where they were helping people come through. To me, that really wasn't happening. What we saw, when they let us come through and let us walk through, we could take pictures. But I'm an old narcotics, undercover, covert guy. I got my pictures. I got my pictures. But,
can we see some?
I don't have them right here on me right now. But I got some pictures. But to me, when they left from there, they had to go somewhere where they were promised a job. What they were really doing, they were working their dead off to these folks. And that's what the reality of it was. So that to me, that's human trafficking. Yes. That is a labor intense human trafficking, not so much the sexual side of it, which that could happen too, but mainly the labor side, because you got to go work somewhere for so long to work your debt off through some kind of temporary employment agency that's been set up to do stuff. Those things are going on there. I'm sure they're going on up here at some point in time. I think the migrants themselves are being taken advantage of. And not even realizing it.
They are, yeah. I mean, one big thing, and a lot of folks don't realize this. When we talk about the last administration opening the floodgate, guys, it's very simple. Here's a very simple, quick, 101 for your understanding. Imagine you actually have your family members that you went through the proper channel. You file I-134, and this individual has been approved. And a couple of years went by, they're still waiting for a visa. Yeah. While they're waiting for a visa, you got this guy coming in office and said, okay, all you got to do is fill this application, and by next week you're in the United States. While the other folks who have been vetted, waiting for a visa, is still there waiting. Now you understand why the next guy come in and said, no, we gotta clean this up, because who is here? who's in the house.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for a lot, because a lot of people we know, all they want to do is feed their family to what the common person needs, right? Wants better life for their children and so on. But at the same time, if you had leaders thinking for our countries or the other countries, then perhaps the situation wouldn't be such as.
I mean, like the previous administration, Biden, for instance, you got people living in the airport during the Biden administration. It don't make sense, If the person is showing up here, I know in Haiti, to get a U.S. visa, you have to have X amount of dollars in your bank account. You have to have a place to live. So the people that was getting visas is businessmen and students, right? So now there's no embassy in Haiti. The embassy is closed. Nobody can get a visa, so nobody can come here the right way. People are selling what they have, and they're packing their stuff, make their way to Chile, and then not everybody make it. 50% of those people die in the forest. Wild animals eat those people alive. And I feel like this administration is stopping a lot of death too.
So what we saw and what we were shown was exactly that a lot of people go to Chile for 5 years because they could get a visa for 5 years, and Chile wouldn't renew
$1,000 resident visa.
And then they would come to the United States after they said, okay, open borders, y'all come on, the whole 9 yards. But a lot of people who made that trek were taken advantage of before they ever got here. A lot of the young girls were raped. It's the point where you had charities in Mexico that was going and giving out rape kits and these packages to these young girls that would include birth control or anything like that, in case something happened. Yeah, and a lot of them would come to the United States. They've already been victimized. Some of these are underage girls. So they're already victimized before they even get to the United States. And we were shown all that. I did not realize that till they showed that to me on that trip. And it was just terrible. So, and this is my other personal opinion. The open borders created that. I just created that event.
Yes, sir. I appreciate everyone's input on it. But if I may add just a little bit of mine is, what's the reason that we're doing all this, going around, trying to be illegal about it? I think this administration needs to look at some type of way where the people can be more welcome into like a vetting process to figuring out how
that's why I was suggesting our immigration laws need to be looked at. They need to be what's the word, updated, I guess is a good word, to make that process so you're not waiting 10 years to be vetted out. What can we do to make this process? We're hiring all these agents and so forth. All right, let's come up. That's for the enforcement side. We have to have that. All right, let's have something for the side where the policy side or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Where where people do apply and they are going through the legal process. We have so many people that come through that this is any society. I don't care if it's migration. I don't care if it's you set up a new neighborhood, whatever. When good people come and they're invited, bad apples always show up. It's always going to happen. So guess what? Bad apples come along, and there was a large percentage of Chinese nationalists that got across the border, all military age, single, fighting age, 25 years, 28 years old. A lot of those got into the United States too. A lot of people didn't know that. I didn't know that till I went to Texas, and they shared that with us. And it also opened the drug trade. I mean, you had all kinds of these drugs coming through, and you had all the battle or the fights at between DEA and the federal government. It was almost like drinking water from a fire hydrant. It was coming over so much you couldn't stop it. But my understanding now is the border is secure. They are coming through the ports like they're supposed to, whoever wants to come through. And our ports being secure has actually drove that criminal aspect of the border down, which is the intent of that.
I feel like immigration won't ever be resolved because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Look at how much millionaire the Biden administration created here in Appleville. Like, a lot of people buy rental houses
that was getting checks from the Biden program, they don't have to rent you the whole house. They can rent you one bedroom for $500. So if you got a 4-bedroom house in a nice neighborhood, you got 4 people in that house. That's, do the math. That's 2,000. And sometimes they rent the closet, the garage. They turn it to bedroom. I mean, it's just, I feel like that won't ever resolve. There's too much money in that industry.
There's a lot of money. At some point in time, that has to be looked at and addressed. Now, as a sheriff, I can't address something that happens that's violate the city ordinance. We don't have the authority to enforce city ordinances. It's state law, and that's it. State law. A lot of your city ordinances involving restrictions on houses and so forth. The sheriff's office doesn't get involved. We don't have the authority to enforce those. Only your local municipalities have that authority.
I understand why. I personally understand why the American people are frustrated, because if you have a $300,000 house, a very beautiful house in a nice neighborhood, and somebody living next door to you that don't know how to mow their lawn and they don't know how to take care of their house, they're parking the cars on the yard, and you work hard to buy this house and to be in this neighborhood, and then your value in your house slowly going down because nobody want to live there no more. I mean, I feel like that's why it's important that education. That's why we're doing a lot of the education here in
Shout out to Albertville. Shout out to
we do a lot of education.
That's a good thing. I'm proud of y'all doing that.
Robin,
to help people understand how to, because right now I feel like local municipality, sheriff office, we cannot really solve that problem. Really, we have to find a way how to help these people, because I feel like that's a federal issues. Believe it or not, there's not much our county sheriff can do. I mean, really.
It would have been beautiful to live in a world like being a U.S. citizen. You can almost go anywhere in the world, and you can travel there, spend a little time there. Hey, if you want to go ahead and start a new life there, you could. It would have been beautiful that every human being had that right. Unfortunately, you do have the bad folks, people with bad intention, and they become a responsibility. To have a country, you have to have secure borders. You have to have a thriving economy. And that's the only way you can really have a country, to at least justify why, before I get my paycheck, the government takes their portion out first. But unfortunately, it is what it is. So there are those rules and those things are in place. And
yeah, like Sheriff said, I mean, it's part of the federal government that needs to find a way for it to be more transparent, a clear path towards citizenship for the people that do want to come here and contribute, because I would say 98% of them, 99% of them are here to contribute, work, go home, send their kids to school, and 1% is what taints the water. And so we need to have a clear path on the way to do it.
Believe me, it won't ever happen here. I promise you. It's too much money, because look, you can hire somebody that's illegal to do the same exact job. I know the time is up. We can hire somebody illegal to do the same exact job that you're gonna get a regular American. A regular American, you can pay them $17, but you can hire somebody that's illegal to do the job for $7 in the labor market, and they'll do it like their life depended on it. So there's a lot of money involved, and most of these guys as congressmen, they're businessmen, and senators. Most of them are businessmen. Most of them have contractors. Yeah, they have different people that's working for them, and they use that labor. They're not going to do it out in the open, but they all use that illegal market.
Yes, sir. Well, Sheriff, we've enjoyed speaking with you today. We want to try to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit funner. What do you do for fun here in Marshall County?
I cook. I love to cook. Yeah, obviously you can tell I love to eat. So my wife's an excellent cook. She's a good country cook. She can cook some of the best. She made homemade biscuits this morning.
All right.
But I play golf.
Okay.
I do enjoy playing golf. I do that kind of stuff.
Nobody invited you to the golf tournament?
Do what now?
Nobody invited you to the golf tournament this week?
The chamber had a golf.
They did. But I wasn't able to play in. So I played in Guntersville chamber a couple of weeks ago. I try to play all the golf tournaments I can when time permits, because to me that, and I do a lot up to the sheriff's office type atmosphere. And I'll take my deputies or something like that. We played in the disabled veteran ones here about a month ago. I took 2 of my deputies who are veterans. So I try to do all that, spread the love, and we actually finished 3rd place in that one.
Nice. Congratulations. Nice.
Yeah, so we had a very good time. But I play golf, and there's nothing like getting that little white ball and just hitting it hard as you can.
I know me and Jeff been trying to learn how to play, so maybe we'll go out there
I know how to play, man.
the cart. Is that right?
You play golf?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Hey, that's new.
I know. I play golf. I live in a golf course when I was younger.
Okay.
Me and my brother play all the time. You got a big event coming up. I got an invitation here. What is it?
Our fish fry?
Fish fry. You've been talking about that all year.
Oh, yeah. You want some good fish?
Yeah,
Come on down.
yeah.
So, the FOP every year, we do Shop the Cop. Can I talk about it just for a minute?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, our FOP, we do a Shop the Cop program. We started that right before I took office. Started getting involved. I've always been an FOP member. Well, the FOP was trying to get them more active here. And that's our Fraternal Order of Police. And we have a lodge here, Lodge 18. It's a statewide organization, but individual counties have lodges. So we raise money for our Shop the Cop program. What that does is during Christmas, we work with our schools to find underprivileged kids or for whatnot. And we let them spend all day with a police officer or deputy sheriff or whoever, prosecutor or whatnot. And we take them shopping. And we tell the parents they're ours right now. We're going to take them shopping. And we'll provide them. And Walmart's been a great. I'm gonna plug Walmart on here. I know this is a what do you call it? Shout out or shameless plug. But Walmart in Guntersville has been very great to partner with on this program. And when we raise money, I think last year we sponsored 100. I think it was 107 kids, and we gave each one of them a gift card for $175.
Okay, my daughter went to one of those. My daughter partook in one of those.
Yes, and here's what it does. Not only does it help build new community relationship, but it builds those relationships with them children.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a child to be scared of an officer. No shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
If a child needs help, I want them to be able to take that police officer. I need help, and I don't want them to be scared of them because they have a gun or badge or anything like that.
Right.
So we have been able to mentor and build a relationship with these kids for the last 7 years or so. This will be our seventh year doing it. And then when they come in, we'll take them, we'll buy breakfast for the whole family, and we'll meet somewhere. We've been meeting at Sand Mountain Park the last couple of years. And we'll line up from there, and we'll take them all by police escort, lights, sirens blaring, all the way to Walmart. We'll make a lap in the parking lot. We'll stop, and we'll get out, go in there, and we'll shop, ever how long it takes. And when we're done, we load them back up. We go back to Sand Mountain Park, and then we have lunch with the children. And if they want to go look at their gifts, if you play with them, we'll help them put them together or just whatnot. And we actually spend time with the parents there too, with the family. Now, a lot of times, I think this is the first time we ever did it. We come through Guntersville. We left out of the senior center down here in Guntersville, rec center, and we did lights and sirens. We only did 36 kids that day. That's the very first time. So we went from 36 kids now to well over 100.
Wow.
And
That's gonna cost
the community's been very gracious about donating money for this and helping out. As soon as we get across Causeway, everybody's wanting to know what in the world's going on in City Guntersville. What, like all Cain is broke loose. What is going on? So then we go to Walmart and we make 3 laps around the parking lot. Why we made 3, I don't know. It had state trooper leading us. He's state trooper. They like to make laps, I guess. I say that. I got a lot of state trooper friends. I say it in fun. But they usually lead every year. But so we get out, we go in, and nobody at Walmart knew what was going on. And they said that every shoplifter, they knew there were shoplifters in there because when they started checking after we left, there was like empty buggy full of stuff over here, empty buggies full of stuff over here, where people were probably trying to get out the door. It was the safest place in Marshall County at that time, so every shoplifter in there left. Didn't take a thing.
Wow.
When is this event? Because I would love to, because my kids...
The Shop the Cop event will be the December 13th.
December 13th.
I think it's December 13th. It's a Saturday. second Saturday of December. And our FOP fish fry, get back to it, it's help funds we raise for it goes toward it.
Oh,
And we have a fun day at the FOP building. The address is on the flyer. It's on Browns Valley Road in Guntersville.
Share that with me.
I'll be cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always cook the fish.
So, Sheriff, are you live here on Guntersville? You inviting us to go eat fish that you're gonna be cooking?
Absolutely.
A small fee of
I want
$15.
everybody to come and do this.
Jeff, you good? You covered the voice.
That's right.
Invitations for everyone.
Small fee of $15.
$15, and we give generous portions. Trust me.
Yeah.
And we'll have a mixture of fillets, and we'll do whole catfish till they run out. And to be honest with you, whole catfish is a big hit. I love whole catfish.
I want to go try your fish. You've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, we do a good job. And I think last year we sold close to 300 plates in one day. And we'll have the ball games on, and anybody, as long as there's room, people's like, y'all welcome to stay with us and sit and eat and fellowship and all kinds of stuff.
When's the date
I'll
again,
have
Sheriff?
fun.
When's the date? The date for the event?
For the fish.
Fish fry.
October 11th.
October 11th.
So that's right around the
I think
corner.
it's
right
on
around.
October 11th.
So that's
we'll
actually
start about 11 o'clock.
that's Saturday. That's gonna be on a Saturday.
Okay, 11 o'clock.
Saturday.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
on a
it's gonna be on
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we'll have ball games on if anybody wants to stick around, whether you're War Eagle or Roll Tide or
Roll Tide.
Volunteers, War Eagle. All right.
All right.
We definitely.
All right.
So whatever you want to do, but yeah, that's a great program, and it's been very successful. We love it.
It's very good to have Sheriff on the Voice of the Ville.
Yeah, we had fun with you
I
today,
appreciate
Sheriff.
y'all having me.
Yep, absolutely. But one last thing. So, Sheriff,
$5 for the last question.
nope. Sheriff, please. What message would you like to leave with our listeners today?
Well, that's there's so many things I really want to say, but okay. I appreciate y'all having me on here. I want people in Marshall County to know that the sheriff's office, us as collective, not just me, but my entire office, is here for you. Is here to help you. If you ever need anything, I have an open door policy at my office. If I'm there, my door's open. You come in, I'm going to speak with you. If you call my office, make an appointment, we're going to make it. I'm not there. Someone will return your phone call, and you'll get a chance to make an appointment, whatever you need. So, but my office is here for you. This is your sheriff's office. I'm your sheriff that you elected to serve here in Marshall County. And so if you need anything, please call my office. We'll be there for you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
And he really means it. Open door policy. I like that. It's always open.
It's always open.
Yes, sir. Thank
Well,
you.
there you all have it, Sheriff of the Ville.
Congratulations to the commissioner, by the way, John Young.
That's right.
Oh yes, John.
Yes.
John was retired a long time law enforcement he retired from DA's office. He come to work back at the sheriff's office for us as assistant chief deputy for about a year and a half, and then the chairman's position became available upon the passing of Chairman Hutchison.
Yeah, we spent the last couple of days when we were at your office with him, right?
Yes, and he got selected by the governor to be our new chairman, which is great. He'll do a good job.
Well,
He's already doing a good job.
he is doing a good job. Maybe you'll get the commission on part-time for business people to run.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how
I'm
legislators. That's
just
their
opening
job.
another book.
That's a new can of
I'm
worms.
trying to get you in trouble.
Listen, let's stop right there. Stop what you're doing. You've been watching. You've seen it. Now you got the feel for your sheriff. Stop. Take a look down there.
Sheriff of the Ville.
Right
You
there.
see it?
Right there.
It says subscribe.
Yeah.
Click on it. All right, now set it up on all. So you can get all of our YouTube.
All right, thank you.
If you type
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Sheriff
Thank
of the
you.
Ville.